A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another book review today, so cheers. Goose Island IPA, just perfection in a can. Now, today I'm reviewing a book that actually flew right under my radar, and I didn't even know it existed until I read an article on a website talking about the sequel to this book. So I tracked it down, and it is Batman Resurrection by John Jackson Miller. John Jackson Miller has actually written quite a few Star Wars novels, Star Wars comic books, and he is in fact a comic book historian. Now, this book is pretty much a direct sequel to the 1989 Tim Burton Batman film. And you may think that is a little strange. There was already a comic book called Batman 89 that filled in the gaps. Oh no, this book is freaking amazing. And it's amazing because not only does it combine the legacy of the Tim Burton original Batman film, it includes plot elements that are found in the second Batman movie by Tim Burton, Batman Returns. It includes characters that are crucial to the Batman mythos, namely Clayface and a character I'm not going to spoil here because it is an intrinsic plot point. It brings back characters from the Tim Burton Batman film, namely Vicky Vale and Alexander Knox, the reporter. And it kind of ties it all in together, while at the same time not shitting on the legacy that was the Joker's intrinsic effect on Gotham City. This happens a few months after the Joker's parade, the battle in the cathedral, and Joker falling to his death. But is the Joker actually dead? There are characters in this novel that you would recognize if you'd watched the film or if you're a fan of the film, which I am. It was just a phenomenal read where every time something came up, you're like, I recognize that. I recognize that. It's just one of those books that brings joy to people who are fans of the Tim Burton films and who just want that legacy to continue. Now, to be fair, yes, we did get to see the Michael Keaton Batman return in the Flash movie. A lot of people thought the Flash movie was absolute garbage. You know what? I'm just one of those people that went and saw it at the cinema and just enjoyed it for the experience. Yes, there was a lot of problems with it. Yes, the actors outside of the film itself sometimes were whatever. I honestly don't care. I just love seeing Michael Keaton as Batman again, and this book has that same feel. The sequel to this is coming out in, I believe, October, and yes, I will be getting it, and yes, I will be definitely reviewing it, just because of the ending to this book. It blew my freaking mind how much I love this. I didn't think I would. I thought, oh, come on. I love the comic, the Batman 89 comic series. I'm like, can you really capture the magic that was the Tim Burton Batman film in a novel? Well, yes, you actually can. And you get it in Batman Resurrection. So, if you don't want any spoilers, then I would suggest turning off the video, go and get a copy of the book however you can, audio, Kindle, physical copy, and go and read it. But I am going to spoil this a lot. So if you want to know exactly what happens in Batman Resurrection, stick around for the next episode of...
Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. People.
Batman is really a part of my nerd history. So we can go back to the 1940s matinee version, which is really fantastic, by the way, and check it out any way you can. We can go to the comic books, the films. I really don't care what version of Batman we are talking about. Some are better than others, depending on the writer and the actor and whatever. That's all fine. The 1989 Tim Burton Batman film blew my freaking mind. I saw it with my family at the Penrith Hayden Cinema. It was absolutely phenomenal. I had the graphic novel adaptation of the movie. Really enjoyed it. And reading this book brought back all of those freaking memories. Even the opening sequence of that film. Because when we begin Batman Resurrection, it starts with a character who is called Carlo Babiš. He is from Czechoslovakia. He is buying makeup from two guys. This is black market shit right here. And those two guys that are selling him the makeup are the two guys at the beginning of the Tim Burton film that rob that family and then get beaten up and captured by Batman. That's how close this book ties in to the lore of the Tim Burton movies, which was absolutely freaking awesome. So Carlo is buying this makeup for an actor who is performing in a play. The group is called the Goatstown Players, which is a kind of riff on the word Gotham because it's in Gotham City, and Gotham is kind of related to goat herds. Alfred talks about it. Who fucking cares? Anyway, he brings his makeup back to this actor called Tolliver Kingston, who is the lead actor in, I believe it is Shakespeare's The Tempest that they are putting on. And the actor is an arrogant piece of shit, and he is very suspicious. So he says to Carlo, hey, you do this first. You put this on first. And Carlo puts on all of this makeup, which has been tainted with the Smilex chemicals, which was what the Joker was doing in the Tim Burton film. And he becomes warped and he falls unconscious. And Carlo, whose stage name is Basil Carlo, you will know if you are a fan of Batman, it's fucking Clayface. And he becomes Clayface because of these chemicals. So he's put in the Smilex ward of the Gotham City General Hospital. There is a ward set up for victims of the Joker's Smilex chemicals, which we saw in the film, transformed your face, made you smile, blah, blah, blah. But it also harbors children who have been affected by this because their parents have died from using this makeup and beauty products and whatnot. So you have this whole ward, which is run by this doctor called Hugh Oslander. Yes, we share a name. I'm Hugh, he's Hugh, whatever. Now, at the same time, one of the Joker's henchmen from the film, Lawrence, has revived the Joker's gang. They're called the Last Laughs. And they are going around burning down buildings under the directives, I should say, of one Mr. Max Schreck. Who is Max Schreck? The villain from Batman Returns. He is played by Christopher Walken in the film. And he is getting these guys to burn down buildings so that he can get the land and make parking garages and whatnot. Alexander Knox is on the trail. Yes, Alexander Knox from the Tim Burton Batman film. And he gets found out, but Batman comes in and saves him at the last minute. Now, while this is going on, Carlo awakens in the Smilex ward, freaks out, and basically busts out of this hospital ward and goes on this mini rampage. And he's not a bad character in this. He's actually misguided. He goes on a rampage and steals a bus trying to get back to the places that he knows. Batman fights him on the bus after getting all the passengers off, almost like a speed thing happening. And while this is going on, Batman kind of punches him and his face melts and it all goes to shit. And Carlo gets away and Batman is like, what the fuck is going on? So Carlo decides he needs to find out what the fuck happened to him. Batman is investigating the Last Laugh gang. So Carlo, pretending to be Harvey Dent, who was played by Billy Dee Williams in the 89 Batman film, tricks Dr. Oslander to a luncheon so that he can take Oslander's form, because he realizes he can imitate people and turn into whoever he wants, mask his voice. He tricks Oslander and he goes into the office to get his file. So, Oslander comes back, sees him, and lets him know, listen, I think I can cure you. You've just got to give me some time. Let me study what you've become. Which he does. They kind of form a bit of a partnership. Which is cool. But here's where things absolutely go to shit. Oslander tells Carlo, who now the media have dubbed him Clayface, which it's fucking awesome. I just love when they do this kind of stuff. So the media dub him Clayface, and he's like, you need to cause a distraction, which he does by pretending to be Jack Napier, the Joker from Tim Burton's Batman movie. So you've got Batman thinking the Joker is still alive, Gotham thinking the Joker is still alive. Batman reaches out to Knox, says, listen, Vicky Vale, yes, that Vicky Vale, she needs to know this shit. Vicky Vale comes back to town under the protection of Bruce Wayne. She stays in his mansion. She knows that he is Batman. She found that out at the end of the first film. Now, it's at this point things fucking ramp up, because the gang, the Last Laugh, dig up the Joker's corpse, and so Batman is called to investigate this and take some samples and discovers that, wait a second, is this Jack Napier or is this an imposter that's made to look like Jack Napier? And while he's doing that, Dr. Oslander and Carlo, who is Clayface, are planning something. And this is where we find out that Dr. Oslander is in fact Hugo Strange. And Hugo Strange, for those of you that know Batman lore, is one of the greatest villains in Batman's fucking repertoire here. And Hugo Strange was the one that invented the chemicals that the Joker used to create the Smilex gas. And he basically was working for the government. He created this nerve toxin, got fired, and the government are destroying all of his work, and he's not going to have any of that. So he uses Clayface to break into a government facility where they actually murder all of the soldiers and take back all of the research that Hugo Strange has done. At this point, Clayface is like, what the fuck have I got myself into? Clayface in this isn't a villain. Clayface wrongly believes that he had actually killed Tolliver Kingston, that actor. He shoved him in a trunk and took his place on stage during the Tempest play. And when he came back, Tolliver Kingston was dead. He believed that he had killed him. No, it was actually Hugo Strange that had killed him and framed Clayface for it. But because of that, Clayface kind of was like, okay, you get me out of this shit, I will help you with your shit. And that's kind of where all of this leads. At the same time, Bruce Wayne is dating this actress, Julie Madison. Julie Madison gets embarrassed during the performance and breaks it off with Bruce. So Bruce is like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then Vicky Vale comes back and he's like, whatever. But he doesn't sleep with any of them in the book, so who fucking gives a shit? Okay, so Hugo Strange has all his chemicals back and all of his notes. He wrongfully tells Clayface he can cure him of this disorder. In actual fact, what he wants to do is use his chemicals to transform Gotham into monsters. He does it with the last laugh. He uses this kind of mind control technique, which we've seen. If you've ever watched the animated series, you know that Hugo Strange is a master of like hypnotism and shit like that. And he uses it on Clayface, he uses it on Lawrence, and he uses it on the last laugh goons. And transforms them all using this gas into these, what he calls monster men. Almost like Neanderthal brutes. So all of this kind of is going down while Hugo Strange has basically promised the people of Gotham that all of the banks are going to give away free money to them. He does this by making Clayface look like the Joker, and the Joker pretty much promising them money for everyone. So Batman is forced to go from bank to bank to bank to bank to bank on this one night, which is all a diversion because Hugo Strange is breaking into this arms factory and getting his chemicals and notes back, which he does, killing everyone. So his ultimate plan is to kill Batman. He lures Batman down into the sewers where Batman is attacked by these monster men and barely manages to escape. He goes, like, Batman has already investigated the arms depot and whatnot, so he's worn down, kind of really tired. He is saved by someone. We assume it's Carlo. Ultimately, Carlo lets Batman know what Hugo Strange's ultimate goal is, and that is turning all the wealthy Gothamites into monster men. They go to this benefit to raise money for the Smilex ward of the hospital, which was basically when Clayface took over the role of Caliban in Pygmalion and from Tolliver Kingston, and then that went to shit. And so this is like another thing. Clayface impersonates Bruce Wayne on television so that people will come and flock to this thing. And everyone's kind of happy about this, but Bruce Wayne realizes, you know what the fuck, this is bullshit. And he cottons on to Hugo Strange's plan, and he foils it by switching out the chemicals that he's going to use to change the wealthy Gothamites into monster people. And Hugo Strange manages to flee, in the process kidnapping Vicky Vale and Alfred. Knox records this. He is kind of hiding out the back and lets Batman know what the plan is. Now, here's the thing. All through this book, Bruce Wayne is having nightmares of his showdown with the Joker. He doesn't know if the Joker is real or not. He doesn't know if he's alive or dead. The last laughs kind of dig up this body that is supposed to be the Joker, but it's not the Joker, and so it's fucking with Batman's mind through this whole novel. And then Batman cottons on to what the fuck is going on, and there's one sentence in Knox's recording where Hugo Strange says to Lawrence, we're going to go to the high place, which is, in fact, the cathedral in which Batman and the Joker fought at the end of the film. The plan Hugo Strange has is he's going to fire all of these chemicals into the atmosphere and have it rain down on Gotham so that the people that live kind of under a certain point will get turned into monsters, and the rich people that are in the high-rises, they're going to be safe, but they will ransom their freedom to Hugo Strange, and he's going to control wealth and Gotham and all of that shit. Like, fucking psychopath. Batman cottons onto this, and he's got some new inventions in this book as well. He's got the Roost, which is like a floating disc thing, which is kind of cool that he uses. And he's got the Alpha Bat, because the Batwing got shot down by the Joker in the film. The Alpha Bat is a similar thing. It's a helicopter, but it can hold more people, and it has drones that he can control from the helicopter itself. So he enlists the help of Carlo, who is turned away from Hugo Strange. Carlo pretends to be Batman and infiltrates the cathedral while fighting Hugo Strange's goons and shit like that. Batman comes in and stops all of these chemical weapons from being deployed and jumps in, and they take out Hugo Strange by giving him a dose of his own fucking toxin, which turns him into a mindless monster. And they easily subdue him. And then at the end of the novel, they reveal that Batman has discovered a cure for all these monster men, and Carlo, pretending to be Hugo Strange because he's Clayface, he can turn into fucking people, orders the monster men to go with the police, and he and Batman kind of reconcile, and there's a whole kind of thing with Vicky Vale is now leaving again because she can't be around Batman, and it's an amicable breakup. But then at the very end, Alfred comes down to the Batcave to clean it, and to clean the car, I should say, and he sees there's a postcard on the windshield, and the postcard is in fact a series of riddles from who? The fucking Riddler, who is going to be in the next book. And that is where the story ends. I might have jumped around a bit and I might have left some stuff out, but you know what? If I did, fucking read it for yourself, because this book, let me just bring it up again because my tablet decided to shut down. This book was fucking awesome. I love it when authors can get the nuances of superhero stories perfectly. And that is exactly what this author has done. He has captured the feel, the dialogue, the characters of the Tim Burton 1989 Batman film to a freaking T. I don't think this could have been filmed. I mean, if it had been filmed, it would have blown my fucking mind. But as a novel, as a continuation of the story, it was absolutely freaking phenomenal. I loved every single minute of it, and I cannot wait to read the next one and review it for all you little Plaguelandians out there. So, cheers. With that said, please everyone, have a fantastic rest of your day. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all that good stuff, but most importantly, stay safe, and of course, read a fucking book or a comic.